Welcome to Boulevard this afternoon. A clash between Hull and Wakefield Trinity. Wakefield Trinity needing the points badly to avoid relegation. Hull hoping to maintain their home record, which stretches back to about 14 or 15 months now. The teams: Wakefield, Gary Spencer, full-back. David Jones, Murray, Perry and Mason Wilson are the three-quarters. Jed Byrne, Mark Conway at half-backs. A front row of Glancy, Thompson and Bell. A second row of Linton Morris, Gary Price and young Richard Slater. And subs are Lazenby 14 and Eden 15. Hull, Feather at full-back. A three-quarter line of Eastwood, Nolan, McGarry, Brad Webb. Half-backs of Greg McKay, Patrick Anton. Front row of Harrison, Jackson and Marlowe. A second row of Sharp and Walker. Loose forward Busby. Their subs are Dixon and McNamara. So Jim Smith of Halifax is the referee. I'll just have a word with Dave Wanless, who's with me up in this lovely setting up here high above the ground at the Boulevard, and just on a few facts and how he thinks today's game will go, and just one or two points of interest. David?
Well, on a day that you could call as in perfect condition, the pitch is in perfect condition, weather is just right, there's just a small breeze, so with the state of the pitch, I believe it'll be a fast, open and free-flowing game of rugby league today. Both sides needing the points. Hull to try and enhance their position at the top of the First Division League table, and Wakefield Trinity in an effort to secure another 2 points, which in my views would ensure total safety for Wakefield. So I'm looking forward to a very fast and free-flowing game of rugby league today.
Yeah, Wakefield, David, got some good young lads in with Linton Morris and Slater and that, and the good defensive, well, tacklers as well, David.
Well, you'll find in Linton Morris today that he'll probably be up and amongst the leaders in the tackle count. We are just now going to have a 2-minute silence, so we'll cease commentary while the silence is over.
Back to what you're saying, David, have you any more thoughts?
Yes, you'll probably find that Linton Morris will be up and amongst the leaders in the tackle count today, and also you'll find him running out wide. He's a good, strong lad. He's only a young lad. He's very, very keen to impress Mr. Topless. And also with Richard Slater and Gary Price being his other back three partners, you'll find that the defensive role of these three will be very formidable against this very strong Hull side, but they'll do exceptionally well, even though they're very younger and more inexperienced in their capacities.
So it's Wakefield to kick off with Conway. As David was saying, a back three with an average age, I would think, round about 19 years of age. So here come Hull trying to get out of their 22. Met by Slater and Gary Price, both prominent early doors. Doing a little move, there comes Harrison. Harrison's well taken there by Linton Morris. So they're coming again up the blind side, and a knock on there from Hull. So they've only kept it for 2 tackles, Richard Slater. So in the first 3 tackles for Wakefield with Richard Slater, Linton Morris and Gary Price. As David was said, 3 young lads and always promising future for Wakefield Trinity with those 3 lads in the ranks. So Conway puts the ball in, just couldn't quite get it. All the Hull backs there caught offside. Alert Jim Smith caught them all, so it's going to be a penalty for Wakefield. Probably after the first minute or so, it's Conway's will take this opportunity to kick for goal. No, he's Oh, a scrum infringement, as David reminds me. Getting a little bit excited, thinking there's 2 points on the board. So Conway takes the tap. Here comes Johnny Thompson. So Wakefield trying to get at this Hull defence. They're in the Hull 22 now. Conway. Jed Byrne, run round from Conway, looking for Chris Perry. Finds Richard Slater, takes the ball well at the second attempt, but come nicely into gap there, Richard. Moved the ball well, did Wakefield there. Chris Perry, another little... Nigel Bell having a go from acting half-back, so... A couple of tackles to go, Richard to Mark Conway. Moving it wide, Jed Byrne. Moving it to Chris Perry. Chris Perry looking to handle it on, so we're on the last. Wakefield 10 yards from the line, Conway. Well, a little short kick through and just a little bit strong, so it's going to be a 22 tap for Hull. Comes Jackson to take the tap. Gives it to Marlowe there. So Lee Jackson having a go again. Is Great Britain international, very quick from acting halfbacks. Likes to have a go at the defence. This is Anton, the French lad who played for France recently in their games against Great Britain. Had some good plays. So it's back to Eastwood to kick downfield. Lyndon Morris just introduces himself to Eastwood as he kicks. David Jones fields in his own 22. Goes straight at the Hull defence. Does David? Only knows one way to go. So here we have Jed Byrne. Jed Byrne giving it to Gary Spencer. Gary Spencer just trying to clear his 22. Jim Smith just getting the old pack back now. Glancy. Good storming run from John Glancy there. Gets well over the 22. And just made half a break there, did John. Nigel Bell just dummies one way, goes the other. Makes some good yardage as well. Looking pretty well, Wakefield, in early stages. Settled down pretty reasonably. Playing good rugby. They're keeping the plays. They've had the 6 tackle twice now, which is good. Keeping the ball out of the possession of the Hull. And that's a good kick from Conway. That's gone a good 30 yards, so it's halfway between the 22 and halfway on the Hull side. So Wakefield, early stages there. Get the ball well, David, for the 6 plays twice.
Well, yeah, it's good play from Wakefield so far. It's good enterprising rugby, and they're very strong in the tackle. You know, they're starting with a bit more enthusiasm than they did against Bradford. So let's just hope they can take it from there.
Yeah. So Linton Morris there out with Jed Byrne just tackling the Hull. It's coming upside the play. The ball is Busby loose forward, coming at Wakefield upside the play. The ball there, so it's out to Mackey. Here comes Mackey. Makes most of the play for Hull. He's a very dangerous player, brings a lot on, but Linton Morris there making the tackle with Jed Byrne. Here comes Anton going one way, looking for the winger here. It's Webb here tackling on this touchline side. Mackey then first man, going to put up number, test Gary Spencer out. Looks long, does that. It's going to go, yes, it's well over the dead ball line, so it's a pretty poor kick there from Mackey. So it's going to be a Wakefield tap on the 22. Nigel Bell going to get the ball. So here comes Glancy. Glancy, a good storming run there from John Glancy. Trying to get up to play the ball. Was held down by the Hull player. Yeah, that's a good decision from Jim Smith. Just held his shirt there as he tried to get up and do a quick play of the ball. So Jim Smith having no nonsense today. That's Conway. That's, I thought, going to come straight into our video box here. So it's Nigel Bell with a tap to Conway. Then to, here comes Glancy, hitting John Glancy wider there. Probably Wakefield going to do most of their attacks probably today, just a little bit wider out. Johnny Thompson just trying to come upside the play of the ball. Not really got moving there, Johnny. Once he gets into a gap, he's a little bit quick for his size. Gary Price there, Gary Price on to Gary Spencer. Gary Spencer looks one way, dummies, just almost got to Mark Conway away there. So Chris Perry to Andy Mason. Andy Mason, a little chip over. Bounces well for Eastwood, who gets back, retrieves the situation. So Hull with the touch of the ball for and that's Feather, the fullback, just bringing the ball out, wearing one of those scrum caps they wear just in case he gets a bang on the head, I suppose. So here comes Jackson, giving the ball to, that's Busby, the full-back. Only looks a young lad. Probably been playing well in their A-team. So that's Mackey trying to kick, so that's going to be all on. Andy Wilson just fumbles the pick-up, but retrieves the situation. Back in his own half. Taken by Sharp there. And his second row partner, Walker. So Gary Spencer again coming up into attack, getting some work early does, as Gary likes to get into the game. He's not one of those full-backs that hang backs. He wants to be up where the play is most of the time. Johnny Thompson then, checking up. Sharp and Marlowe there just checking it. Gary Price there, just wider. That's good tackle from Walker there. And Gary Price. So Conway is going to kick for position. Just a bit too strong there, so that's going to be scrum back on the halfway. Just a little bit too strong there from Mark Conway. Just trying to get down into the full 22 again. Wakefield worked the tackles well so far. Looking very confident on the ball. Defence is, this early stage is looking pretty good. Not retired there, Mark Conway from the scrum. Jim Smith right on the spot. On trying to go blind, but just a little bit too eager. So it's going to be Eastwood to kick for touch from the halfway line. Gets played down into the Wakefield 22 area, just a couple of yards short. So here come Hull on the charge. Mackey going in at acting halfback. All the forwards coming this side, looking for players to run off. That's full-back, loose forward Busby. So Mackey again, bringing it again, Sharp inside to Harrison. Carl Harrison will score there. Well worked move there from Carl Harrison. And that's a good storming run from Carl Harrison. Spencer a bit too close to the line, even if he was going to tackle him, but he was come storming run into the gap. A well worked move there, David, from Hull.
Excellent forward move there. They did very, very well there. It's just the cross move. The second man taking the ball, flipping it to Harrison, coming on the charge on the inside. The defence was totally split, and as you say, Spencer was just that little bit too far back to stop Harrison before he actually put the ball over the line. Good play from the forwards. I can't say that it's against the run of play. I think the play's been fairly even up to now, but Hull have made the first score, and it's important that Wakefield don't get their heads down, because they've played very, very well. They've got to try and pick themselves up from that and get down deep into the Hull 25 and try and even the score as quickly as possible.
Yeah, so Eastwood then just to the right hand side of the post. Yes, he's successful, so that's after 10 minutes play. Scoreline of Hull 6, Wakefield 0. So a little confirm Wakefield behind the sticks there, hoping just to make sure that doesn't happen again, making sure that all the men crisscrossing are picked up. So Conway with the restart. Kicks deep. Down towards Eastwood's corner, but on time takes it, passes inside, and that's a back pass, and that looked like a knock on. Yes, Jim Smith just waiting a little bit just in case there was an advantage, and gives a knock on. That was a long back pass from on there, so Wakefield hopefully can they get something on from this scrum and get back into the game. Got a penalty there of Wakefield for a scrum offence from he's pulled Marlowe. It must have been tugging with the shirt, pulling him down. So Conway. So Johnny Thompson just going for the line. Is Johnny still going? He's within about 3 or 4 yards of the line. So can Wakefield get back into the score sheet pretty quickly? Here comes Slater to Jed Byrne. Jim Smith knock on. A little bit rushed, that move, look, David?
Well, it was an ideal opportunity to get back into the game as quickly as you can. We've often said this season that defences are sometimes at most at risk when they've just scored a try. Hull there were trying to throw the ball about in their own 25, give Wakefield a big chance, and we put the ball down through rushing, Ian, and we just can't afford to do that when you want to get back into the game.
So all coming through, chattel from Linton Morris and Richard Slater there. Here comes Sharp, John Sharp. He's taken by Johnny Thompson and Nigel Bell. Moving a long way in the play of the ball there. I thought he should have been penalised. He must have walked about 3 or 4 yards there. So it's Anton to Mackie. Mackie going to kick deep. It's going to outstretch, and that's a beautiful kick. That's gone into the touch halfway between the 22 and the Wakefield try line. A good kick there from Mackie, pinning the Wakefield defence back. So Wakefield have got to come back with 6 tackles a long way. They want to get back into the game. Referee penalises handing out in the scrum there, so it's another penalty scrum offence to Wakefield. So that's 2 on the trot there from scrums. Jackson just asking Jim Smith what was up, but Jim Smith had seen it, gave the signal, handing out. So Wakefield and Nigel Bell gives it to Glancy. Glancy met strong there by Marlowe and Harrison. Here comes Johnny Thompson, taking the game up to him. Conway, Slater, Gary Price on the drop-off. Just kind of stopped and went back the other way. Didn't carry on with the run. Nigel Bell to Conway. Conway making a lot of buzzing moments. Perry there just thought he'd just got outside his man there. Oh. Here comes Linton Morris, having a little go on his own. Is Linton there? Just trying to get into the game. Conway with a kick downfield. It's a good kick. It's going towards the corner. Gets to the try line where Young Feather fails the ball in this cap, and that's a lovely tackle from Chris Perry there on the full-back. So here comes Webb. That's 2 tackles from Chris Perry on the trot there. Is he going for the hat-trick? Here comes Harrison. That's a good strong tackle from Richard Slater there. To Sharp. Sharp fetching the ball away. He's back to Eastwood. Eastwood going to kick downfield. That's a good long kick. Gary Spencer fields 10 yards from his own try line, middle of the post, and Gary comes straight at the defence. Yes, good chase there, as David was saying, in the air from the Hull. There was 6 or 7 men up. I've noticed just one little thing while I've been watching this. When they made a tackle, Anton just comes actually in and jumps down again. I've noticed with a lot of the old tackling, extra man just comes and drops onto him, and just to make sure that they can't get up and play the ball. Every tackle they seem to make. Perry, a little chip over, and he picks, just doesn't gather. He just knocked it on there, did Chris. That was hard luck. Busby here just picks the ball up right underneath us, and here comes Young Feather, the Hull full-back. Moving about blind. He's got drawn in as David Jones to play the ball, but he recovered, tackling to Webb, missed the man out there, the 3-2 advantage there, and that was good. So it's Jackson then, into halfback. Anton dropping to Harrison. Harrison looking for Anton again, finds Anton. Looking, John Glancy just couldn't quite hold of him, but Price and Conway make sure, so we're on the last tackle. Anton trying a little jig just to hoping he gets a penalty. Mackie with a drop goal from 40 yards out, a bit adventurous I would think from Mackie. And Gary Spencer trying to clear his line, gets to the 10-yard line where Andy Wilson comes in and acting halfback. Andy Wilson there comes through, yes, Andy Mason, that's a nice little bit of good play there from Andy Mason and Andy Wilson, combined well together there. So Jedburn moves it wide to Gary Price, trying to get out of that through that strong Hull defence. Really. Here comes Glancy. Glancy gets to the 22. There's Glancy. Now Perry to Byrne. Conway gives it wide to Slater. Just couldn't quite get it out, and Slater. All knock on as a given. Gave play on, and so it's Wakefield heading ball. So Conway trying to get the ball out. We're having a little bit of problem getting this ball out. Mason comes this side. Here they come again, Thompson. See how David Jones coming to have a really good run at him. Hull ply when they're tackled, if you're watching. That's Mason. Watch when he gets tackled, there'll be somebody else then come and just roll on him and just hold him down. Conway, run around with Andy Wilson. And coming back, he's lost about 10 yards there. There's not much ground making there from Nigel Bell. Little kick ahead. Mackey there, runs and takes it, and here comes Webb. But he's well taken strongly there by Perry and Linton Morris. Here comes Mackey again. Gives it back inside to Ampton, and Perry's there again with Linton Morris. So bit of pressure from Hull. With the ball, Nunn Sharp coming straight up that side, that play of the ball. Jackson to Ampton, to Mackey. Wider is Walker. That's good tackle from Mark Conway there. So Jackson working up the blind to Harrison. That's on the last. So they're inside the Wakefield 22. We're on the last tackle now. Sharp working the short side, that keeping the ball alive. Forward pass, so that'll be an handover. So how do you think it's going so far, David, after we've had roughly about 20 minutes play?
Well, after 20 minutes, I would say that Hull are probably marginally in front in terms of territorial advantage and the way that they're playing. They're a little bit slightly more aggressive than Wakefield, but fair play to Wakefield and its defence. It's only been breached once. I think that if they're going through a bit of a sticky patch, they've just got to try and tighten things up. Jedburn and Mark Conway have got to try and get the fellow teammates moving, but I'm not too worried at this stage, because there are signs that Wakefield Trinity could improve and pinch some points this half. But they've just got to watch silly mistakes like that. We've had the ball for only 2 tackles after defending very, very well, and Gary Price is, well, it looks unfortunately that he's probably slightly injured, which is probably why he's lost the ball. Unfair criticism from me, I suppose, early on. But we need to cut the mistakes out and hold the ball for 6, Ian.
Okay, David, thanks for those comments. So just a little stoppage in play. I'll bring Dave Willie in just to see how the tackle count's going up to press. Well, we've just got this stoppage, David.
At the moment, Ian, Linton Morris is doing a great job, and he's on 11 with Richard Slater and Nigel Bell just on 7 apiece at the moment.
Thanks, David. So Hull heading ball 5 yards outside the Wakefield half. 22, here comes Webb. Webb just doesn't quite get down that touchline side, so here comes Busby. Attacking the well inside the Wakefield 22 now, so pressure on Wakefield to keep them out. So we're moving it to the right. Anton to Mackey. Mackey looking for the wide ball to Nolan. Hands them to Feather inside. And they just can't handle it there. Knock on. From McGarry. So that's a scrum in the Wakefield 22. Threw the ball away did also. Scrum, Jim Smith letting the scrum go down before the ball's there. So scrum wheel there. Andy Wilson comes in field. Feather, the whole full-back, well up in play, and we noticed from that play could have been a kick over early doors there to probably catch him out. Here comes Gary Price, recovered from that bit of a knock he got. Trying to clear that 22, that's danger area. Wakefield under pressure, can't get down into the whole half of the field at present. Gary Spencer losing the ball in their own 22. Whole pick up by Mackey. Rob Nolan there, gives it inside to Eastwood, but he's stolen by Mason, who actually dropped that ball there in the Wakefield 22. A bit dangerous there, losing ball. We started off so early, holding it for 6, and then we just haven't kept hold of it for 6 tackles. We haven't controlled the game. And here comes Mackey. Jackson gives it to Sharp, gives it wide then to Marlowe, who loses it. And Wakefield pick up, and Sharp going in then when the tackle was made. Looks like John Glancy got a bit of a knock there. I thought John Sharp should have been penalised. Here comes Dave Jones. Holt trying to pinch the ball from him, but keeping hold very well. Chris Berry, Conway moves it wide to Jed Bird, to Gary Price. Gary Price looking to break through the whole defence, but it stayed very sound. Not many breaks in it. It's well organised. As you can see, they play what you call the soldier system, very tight. This Webb on this left-hand side, he's at least 15 yards in from touch. Now he's dropping back because they're expecting the kick from Conway, which comes, and that's excellent kick there into the whole 22. It's rolling and rolling. Feather's got back well, takes it and starts running it out, but he's met strongly by Wilson and Mason. That's a very strong tackle. They meant business there. Here comes Eastwood. Andy Wilson's with him. He only makes a few yards. So here come all. This is Marlowe. Marlowe bringing it up, taken by Glancy. So Anton to Mackey. Got Addison outside him as Mackey. That's a good strong eye tackle from Jed Byrne. That'll just keep his eyes open. Addison next time, he'll be looking for Jed Byrne. Wants some kind of tackle sometimes in that, just to knock the pace off him and knock the edge off him. They don't come as hard if you get 1 or 2 of those. Here comes Eastwood behind play. Slater's trying to get to him, but doesn't. And that's a good kick where Jones and Spencer there, back calling between Spencer and Jones. Andy Wilson then from acting halfback, just making some yardage. It's still 6 points to 0 to Hull. We're at least over halfway through the first half now. Been going for 25 minutes. So it's Bell to Conway. Looking for Gary Price on the drop-off run. Runs straight to Busby. And Bell to Conway. Looking for runners. Jed Bird. Long ball to Chris Perry. That was a lovely ball to Chris Perry. Just trying to get outside. His opposite number there, McGarry, just got back and released him. So it's Jed Byrne to Conway. Good long deep kick to where Feather makes a match to it. Knocks on there, does Feather. The ball just seemed to lose a little bit of flight in mid-air there, David.
Yes, it sort of tended to hang slightly longer than normal, and he misjudged it. It could have been even worse. While he was laying on the deck, the ball could have skidded away from him, but as it was, he recovered. Jim Smith gave the knock on.
So it's Wakefield heading ball. 15 yards out, wide ball. Gives it inside, does it to Andy Mason? No, he goes round, he jets Chris, and Gary Spencer links up, looking for Chris Perry. Wakefield made a little bit of a mess of that, I thought. The chances and openings were there. It looked like nobody wanted to score. Inside from Johnny Thompson to Nigel Bell. That was a good move. So we're just short of the line. Here comes Mark Conway into Glancy. And Nelson Glancy reaches over there and scores. A good try there from Wakefield. John Glancy took the ball there and scored. That's halfway between the touchline and the post. good try there, David. Bit of pressure from Wakefield.
Well, yeah, the pressure from Wakefield came from a kick from Mark Conway. I would say against the run of play. It's fair to say that Hull were well in command up until that stage. Terrible field by Feather. It's his debut, by the way, today for the Hull first team. He lost the flight of the ball. From the resulting scrum, Wakefield tried to put some tremendous pressure on. I thought Gary Spencer was probably wrong in his decision to come back inside when he'd already beat Eastwood and there was no cover on the flank. However, this man Glancy, who's had some tremendous games over the last 3 or 4 weeks, has just capped it all off with a fine, good, strong forwards try there, taking 2 men over the line with him as he scored that try.
Conway, a kick at goal, and that makes it 6-all. It's a low flyer, as we call in the trade, David. Is it from one goal kicker?
Well, it doesn't really matter how they go over, and as Eddie Waring would have said some time ago, it's a flapper, but it went over, and that's all that matters. And we're back in the game at 6 apiece, Ian, and as I said to you before, I didn't think there was any reason to panic at the stage when Wakefield were defending quite well, and the result is that now we're back in the game.
So that's a long deep kick which Gary Price takes on this try line. Yeah, Wakefield back in the game at 6-all with 28 minutes gone of the first half. So Andy Wilson going at acting half-back. Yeah, be bringing the ball away. It's met strongly by Marlowe. He's going to shove him back. So Perry gives it to try scorer John Glancy. Really comes strong and hard as John. He's having an excellent part of the season now. Is John Glancy really playing well. Here comes Johnny Thompson. Coming up strongly. Really going at this old defence, making them take it. That's a good kick from Conway. That's going to roll down into the Hull 22, where Feather's going to get to that and pick up. It's a good chase there from Wakefield. It's at least 5 men up. Jones and Bell make the tackle. Jones there trying to pinch the ball. So here comes Webb. Webb at acting half-back. Makes a good strong run there, does Webb from acting half-back. A little bit of a side step and gone. Hull complaining with Jackson laying on. He's some room to complain where they've been laying on all the game so far. And then Sharp. I think they think that that's Walker. They think that's only one way you can play this game. On one side should have it. That's Slater there with the tackle with young Linton Morris. Here comes Jackson running across field. He's tackling halfway. We're on the last. He was tackling on the halfway, played the ball 2 yards inside the Wakefield half. He should have been. And Mark Conway's picked a loose ball up here and he's coming down his touchline side. And let's gather all the way to David Jones. So that's another good play from Wakefield. David Jones on the 22 to Linton Morris. Linton, go on, check him on, Linton. That's the way. Get a little bit excited. Come on. So it's Gary Price to Jed Byrne. Drops off to Gary Spencer. Just probably not coming deep and hard there, Gary. Not coming fully. So Andy Mason acting half-back to Johnny Thompson. Just taking it in for the settler. So Wakefield then. Well inside the Hull 22 now. There's Jed Byrne looking for runners. Here comes Andy Mason on a loop round from Jed Byrne. He's going through his Mason. That's a nice little move from Wakefield. Lovely little ball from Jed Byrne. So here they come on the last. Here comes Jed. Puts a little chip over. That's a good chip. Slater there. That picks up by Feather inside his own line. But Andy Wilson just takes him a yard into play. So Wakefield with a little bit of pressure on now on this old tap side. Lost the ball. They've pulled the ball out. So it's still play on. It'll be back to 1. So it's putting plenty of pressure on this whole side now on Wakefield. Here's Jackson. Drop off to Sharp. Sharp coming away. That's a good little run from Sharp. Gets a bit of yardage there. Here comes a big lad of Marlow. Oh, it's Busby. Loose forward there. That's a good strong run from Busby. Hit the gap nice. Hit the gap lovely. Penalised there Wakefield for holding down. I think they were bound to come before long because the crowd's been shouting for it. I think the crowd there decided that penalty for Jim Smith. If you watch Hull when they make the tackle, There's always an extra man then comes in and jumps off and just lays on. We'll have to tell him about it at half time, just to get him our point of view. So it's Hull. Here they come with Marlowe. This is Marlowe, a big, strong lad. Jackson then going from acting half-back. 6-all with 8 minutes to go to half-time. On Tom, moving it blind, sharp. Here, Feather links up, but Eastwood with the ball. Walker there, just getting chattled there by the Wakefield defence of Glancy. So Honton bringing Marlowe on strongly, just short of the Wakefield line. We're on the 10-yard line, we're on the last. Jackson inside of Mackey inside to Honton. Have Busby coming through, and Busby's taken 3 yards short of the line by a good tackle from Nigel Bell. So it's the turnover. Here comes Gary Price. Gary Price just trying to get as much yardage as he can. Mackey there at Bobby in just behind his defence, organising them, just telling them where to go, where the gaps are, where to fill in. Here comes Glancy. Glancy hit the ball well there, right on the advantage line. Jed Byrne looking for an opening, dummy one way, dummy the other. It's a good break from Jed Byrne. He's got it back as Jed Byrne. It's back to one, knocked down by Hull player. I don't know what the crowd are complaining about, because that was the right decision. That's unusual for a Hull crowd. They're very knowledgeable and seem to know the game. 1 or 2 high tackles here from Mason. He rides them well. That's a good run from Andy Mason. How's that for holding down then, Mr. Smith? Thank you very much. So it's a penalty to Wakefield. Halfway inside, just over the halfway line. Inside the Hull half of the field. That ball's gone down to the 22, so Wakefield with a tap on the 22, which Johnny Thompson's just coming up to take. Here comes John Glancy. John Glancy, a good strong run there from John Glancy. I'll bring David in a minute, just on West Wakefield side, how they're playing up to press so far. They're taking this game to Hull at present. That's Andy Wilson. Johnny Thompson. Here comes Mark Conway. Gary Price. Gary Price sees a bit of a gap. Nearly got through, and Conway looked to be held back by Jackson. Here comes Johnny Thompson. Seeing the line there is Johnny. He's going for the line. We're just a yard short. Wakefield putting pressure on this Hull. Their defence don't look all that good now to what it did earlier on. Wakefield, Jed Byrne, long back. Gary Pencer just tripping his teammate up there, Andy Mason. Plays it to himself, does Mason. Mason gives it back to Conway. Conway goes for the high kick. That'll be all on anyway. That's Gary Price. Yes, and Gary... No! Disallowed the try, as referee Jim Smith said. Gary Price has dropped the ball. So it's going to be a tap out 22. Greg Mackey is rushing out to take it, takes it quick, trying to get upfield. No man with him. So good Wakefield pressure, David.
Excellent Wakefield pressure. Midway through the first half, I was saying that Wakefield Trinity had to just hold on to what they'd got, and the pressure would come onto Hull. It did, and in a difficult period, they held Hull out on their own line in 6 tackles, and in their result in 6 tackles, almost came down and scored against Hull. So the pressure now is definitely on Hull. Wakefield Trinity are playing some marvellous football and defending extremely well.
Thanks, David. So it's Hull with the ball just on the halfway line. This side of the field, Anton gives it to Nolan. He slips the ball out. Looks like Jones has got that. Nicked it off a Webb. So Wakefield have got possession. That's a kick through from Hull, so that should be back to 1 again. Linton Morris taking it on. No, he shouted. Jim Smith. So Jed Byrne wider to Mark Conway, hitting some wide balls. Gary Price gives it to Mason. Mason, that's some dangerous runs. 2 or 3 yards short of the halfway. Andy Wilson in to Gary Price. Gary Price playing well, David, up to press.
Excellent. What they're doing is they're fanning the ball out wide to the wings, because Hull, as you said earlier, Ian, playing the soldier defence with a fine break from Chris Perry. Yes, and they're playing the soldier defence, and the 2 or 3 quick balls, and they're catching Hull out wide, Ian. and that's a penalty to Wakefield for holding down in the tackle, and that is fair because Hull have had a couple of decisions from Wakefield to holding down in the tackle when Hull have been doing it all the game. So it's a chance for Mark Conway to put Wakefield Trinity 2 points ahead with only a matter of minutes to the half-time hooter.
So Conway is going to attempt this kick. 38 yards out, straight in front. So his kicking of late's been excellent, David.
Well, you know, if form's anything to go by, and the position that the ball's in towards the post, this should be a formality for Mark Conway, but you know, the score being level and the fact that this could put us in front at half-time just might add that little bit of pressure to Mark, but he's a good, confident kicker, and I'm sure this will go straight between the H's as he approaches the ball. It's there. What a fine kick from Mark Conway under pressure, and that puts Wakefield Trinity 8 points to 6 in front with only a matter of minutes to the half-time outer. I'm sure David Topples will be well pleased with the way this game has turned around.
Yep, I would agree with everything you've said there, David. Yes, Topple must be well pleased at 8-6 in front with, I would say, 3 minutes to go to half-time. So Mackey with a kick, it's bouncing badly. Gary Price puts his foot on it over in his own goal area. Makes the good 10 yards where he's met strongly by Harrison there. Andy Wilson goes in acting half that, gives it to Gary Spencer. Spencer, a good strong run does Gary, he likes to get in there and mix it. So Bell to Johnny Thompson. Mark Conway brings it open, long wide ball to Jed Byrne, drop off there to Gary Price, just couldn't slip the ball to Mark Conway who was with him. They're combining well, is Conway and Byrne at present. Conway, a good kick downfield. Feather. Looks like Sharp's had a go at Conway off the ball. I mean, there was no danger there in the kick. Hull had the ball in the middle of the park with Feather. There was no need for him to go through there, David. Daft thing to give away. Good for Wakefield, though.
Well, it's an excellent decision for Wakefield because that just goes to show that frustration setting into the whole ranks. Wakefield Trinity have rolled this storm. They've come through with some tremendous defensive patterns and good attacking patterns, and it's paying the dividends. They've stuck to the guns of Wakefield Trinity, and giving Mark Conway another shot at goal, a man of his capability, you know, it's just disastrous for Hull because Mark Conway loves these conversions that are almost bang on to the posts and only this short distance out. I'm almost sure that he'll kick this, and that puts Wakefield in a very strong position.
Yeah, so we'll just watch Conway. He's about 35 yards out, a couple of yards to the left-hand side of the post. There he goes. Looks like he's just pulled it wide to the right, doesn't get the distance. Wetfield's there in his own 22. So the score is Hull 6, Wakefield 8. Here comes Sharp, who just went through on Conway there. Jackson. Crowd getting a little bit anxious, I think, the whole crowd. They're shouting for everything, getting holding down, offside to Wakefield. That shows which side is on top, when the home crowd are shouting for offsides and holding downs and things like that. So it's Mackey going for distance. That's going to be a good kick where Gary Spencer picks up 3 yards off his own line. That was a good kick from Mackey there, forcing Wakefield back into their own 22. So Andy Wilson gives it to Mark Conway and just runs round him, just trying to get that little bit of width in the play. Johnny Thompson does a dummy run where Nigel Bell picks up. Nigel gets to the 22 line. Hontorn and Sharp just making the tackle. Chris Perry, and here comes Glancy, having as good strong game as John Glancy. Hit that form of late as John, been a strong prop. That's a good strong run again from Johnny Thompson, who's had the ball taken off him by Harrison. So can Hull get on the scoreboard before half-time, get back in this team? I think we're just near enough on the half-time. Mackey Now to Sharp, inside. It's McGarry. Linesman's on for something there. Can't actually see what happened there, David, could you?
No, I didn't see. This commentary position is full of cameras from Hull, Wakefield, Trinity, and we have in the box with us Mr. Harry Gratian of BBC Look North, and it's very, very full, and it's difficult to see what actually went off, but it looks like Eastwood is kicking to touch, and that's rather funnily, because it was only a matter of seconds to the halter, and I would have thought he'd have gone for goal, but however, Hull, and there we are. That just goes to show that they weren't actually watching the clock, and they opted to go for the touch instead of the kick for goal to try and make things all square at half-time, Ian.
Yeah, the rain's just starting to fall, so the ball could be a bit greasy the second half, but Wakefield going to the lead at 8-6. Hull had the first 20 minutes, but in the last 20 minutes of the game, Wakefield's been well on top, David.
Wakefield Trinity well on top, and we'll just refer to the tackle count, which I've just had a look at, and our 18 second row forward Linton Morris is in front in the tackle count with some 20 tackles to his credit, a mere 5 tackles above anybody else in the side, so he's doing exactly what we thought, Ian, and he's playing exceptionally well, and the chap that's in second position is Richard Slater, so between them they're doing a fair stint of defensive work, and let's hope that they can continue to do this in the second half, and let's have this much needed 2 points that we need to avoid this relegation zone, Ian.
Right, thanks, David. We'll see you for the second half. Wakefield coming out for the second half in what is a downpour. It's while they've been in having the slices of oranges or whatever they do. The rain has absolutely come bouncing down, and you can see it now on the field. And Wakefield out with an 8-6 lead. So the weather conditions in the second half could play a little bit of a part in this. It couldn't be a little bit slippery to start off with. Rain easing off a little bit now, but the field still looks in decent condition. The lights are on, so it's going to be Hull to kick off to start this second half. Here comes Mackey with the kick, kicks it deep, where David Jones picks it up onside his try line and comes straight at the Hull defence, where Harrison makes the tackle. Nigel Bell trying to get to the 22, Walker takes him. Help of Marlowe. Johnny Thompson going a zone. Marlowe follows him over. And Harrison. So back to Conway. Conway going to kick deep, is he? Yeah. That's kicked, bounce ball, and it skids. Feathered there to pick the ball up. It's well taken by the Wakefield defence. Hull complaining, but they're all behind the play. It doesn't really matter. Don't have to give them 10. That's Webb that picked it. Here comes Marlowe. So Hull, with this downpour coming, this is Anton to Walker. Walker well taken by Bell and Jed Byrne. Jackson give it to Sharp, gives it to Busby, hitting it up round that play the ball. They work that move particularly well. He's hit it up a few times as Busby today and made some storming runs there. So it's Jackson to Mackey. Mackey kicking down. That looks a good kick. That's probably going to go, is it? No, Spencer's going to get there. Picks it up, comes infield, comes outside, 2 or 3 Hull players, and straightens up. Does Gary Spencer, and Gary Spencer with a marvellous run out of defence there. Exceptionally good run from Gary Spencer. Men back there, he just dallied, went one way, went the other, straightened up. Made a good 30 yard there, 35 yard. Bringing play back to the halfway with Johnny Thompson in possession. Nigel Bell going to acting half. Conway switching back the other way to Gary Price. Gary Price just trying to straighten up, just held by Harrison by 1 foot. So it's Conway then. Conway with the ball. Is he going to kick? There's a little chip through, where Eastwood is going to go back and field it. Just fumbles it a little bit, does Eastwood, and goes down. And, So it's Hull trying to get out of there on 22 now. Feather, here comes Sharp. Sharp taken by Thompson. There's Jackson. Jackson gives it to Harrison. Just gets over the 22-metre line, does Harrison there. So Hull trying to get away from their 22. Good run, strong run there from Walker, but that's an evenly good strong tackle there from Richard Slater. Really put him down. That's Sentong with a kick across to us, where Andy Wilson's not going to reach that, and that's going to go into touch. Roughly just short of the 22-metre line. And it's going to be a Wakefield heading ball at the scrum. Rain still coming down, but not as heavy as it was when we started this second half. Ball, as soon as it hits the turf, skids. Conway to Jed Byrne. Jed Byrne looking at Mackey, going to take him on. Mackey and Nolan there just making the tackle. Here comes Linton Morris. Linton Morris just taking it straight up. He's taken by Busby. Here comes John Glancy. Glancy, Conway switching it back this way. Conway. Dummies one way, Duns the other. Probably been better doing the drop off to Jed Byrne. I think we've had 4 tackles now. So Jed Byrne to Gary Price. Gary Price taking the game to him. Harrison and Marlowe and Nolan making the tackle. So it's Bell. It's going to be back to Conway. Conway for the kick downfield, which he does. It's behind Feather. He's chasing back. He's Feather. Takes the ball a few yards from his own try line. Comes upfield. Good strong run from Feather there. Gets out of his 22. Good clearing run from the full-back there. That's a good tackle from Gary Price on Busby. On Tom, moving it wide to Harrison, who's hitting up in the middle of where. This is Marlowe. Marlowe, midfield. Taken by Linton Morris there, around the ankles. Comes from Jackson from acting half-back. Little bit high with Jed there. Mackey, White to Sharp. Sharp. And Bell there, and Chris Perry making the tackle. We're on the last. So, dummy from McGarry. Acting half-back and kicks it far too strong. Hits the turf and skids well into debt. So that's going to be a 22 tap to Wakefield. Lee Robinson, the physio, just coming on. Is he coming with instructions from Topo? Is he? Yeah, he's just going over to Jed Byrne, having a little whisper in his ear. Probably something that is spotted up in his position, up in the box there. Just wants it to get going. Johnny Thompson. Went one way, went the other. Here comes Nigel Bell to Conway. Conway looking for an opening. Wakefield just lost a little bit of direction there with the 3 tackles. Got caught in a few minds what to actually do. But John Glancy doesn't. He knows which way to take it. That's straight and hard from John Glancy. Good yardage. So young Slater then acting half-back. Richard. He has a go on his own. Does Richard. Bounces one off. Bounces 2 off. Strong lad for his size is Richard Slater. So this will be a kick down from Conway, I should think again. Changes direction, goes over towards where Webb is this time. That's going right towards the corner flag at where Webb is. He feels, coming in field, dummies to Feather. Carries on going where he's met by Jed Byrne and Nigel Bell. Few old players still getting back, haven't got back yet. It's Johnny Thompson and Linton Morris with the defence there. Jackson gives it to Marlowe. Marlowe just making his yardage. Pitch standing up very well to this downpour. Jackson looked a little bit forward, pass there to Harrison, but Jim Smith just didn't see it there. Here comes Jackson, he's going to switch it blind to Mackey. Mackey, a little chip over, spotted a little gap, but Andy Wilson covering back there very well. He takes it and Mackey tackles him, but good play from Andy Wilson there. So Johnny Thompson. Trying to shove on Tom, he does. Just taking it up is Johnny. Good workman-like performance from Johnny Thompson. Just taking it, Andy Mason. Trying to come this left-hand side. Following in is Busby when they've made the tackles being made, which that penalise him for. No, it's Conway to Jedburn. Drop off, is it? No, he's looking. It's Slater on the second drop off. So it's Jedburn. Jedburn gives it to Glancy. Glancy straight and hard again. John Glancy. We're on the last again, so looks like it'll be another kick downfield from Wakefield, I should think. Yeah, here comes Conway. It's a bit of a back kick, and that's on the last, and that's going to be an handover. That's first mistake of this half from Wakefield, David.
Yes, it's fast and furious from both sides, but yeah, a mistake there from Wakefield. It's the first mistake of the half by both sides, and it's put pressure on Wakefield in.
So it's Mackey inside the Wakefield 22, looking for runners. Look plenty on this side. All bunched here as Hull. Round this play of the ball. Gives it to Harrison coming up on the play of the ball. He throws it down, but there's still possession. Here comes Sharp. Gives it to Feather. Young Feather. He's well tackled by Linton Morris and young Richard Slater. Jackson to Anton. Anton showing the ball in one hand, looking for the gap. Finds it from... And that's a good... Wakefield, that one McGarry lost his ball, spilled the ball 10 yards from the line. Spencer there straight on it, quick as a flash. So Johnny Thompson then. Wakefield trying to clear this 22. There'll be strong hold pressure now to make sure that they don't get much distance. And Walker there making a good strong tackle. Here comes Gary Price. Gary Price. Hold tackles there, pinning Wakefield in this 22. Finding it extremely difficult to find the openings. Nigel Bell, Glancy, John Glancy. That's still strong tackling from Marlowe and Jackson there. Back to Conway. Conway kicks downfield. That's going to be fielded by Feather on his halfway. 3 Wakefield men there in Mason and Wilson making the tackle. 10 yards from the 22. Eastwood going to have a go on his own, but Andy Wilson reads him well. Takes the tackle. Jackson in the acting half. Back to Sharp. Wider to Anton, wider is Walker, he doesn't, he scribbles round, goes on his own, but Andy Wilson covering well there, just takes him again. Mackey gives it short to Harrison, he shoves Jedburn off, shoves another off, slits the ball to Sharp, Sharp going straight at the line, gives it short to Anton, gives it again to Jackson, Jackson lost the ball, and he's given a try there, no he hasn't. I thought he'd given the try, but he's given a double movement from Busby. I thought he'd given the try there, but he's given a double movement. Gary Spencer just having a little bit of treatment there, is he? Looks like he's hurt his shoulder. Lee Robinson's coming to him. And Hull making a substitution. Marlowe's going off. And till he turns round, I don't know exactly who's come on, whether it looks like McNamara. Yes, it is McNamara. So the penalty to Wakefield for the double movement. Conway finding touch on the 22. So good pressure there from Hull, David.
Yes, from a mistake when it was on the 5th tackle in midfield. Hull collected the ball and they went down deep into the Wakefield 25 and almost scored a try. But the decision was definitely right. I was watching it. The man was tackled and he did move twice, and a good decision. But that's one each. Wakefield, Trinity and Hull now have had a try disallowed, so it's still in the melting pot.
So Gary Price with the ball 10 yards midfield from the halfway line. Glancy into a gap. Good ball from Conway. Mason with him. And that's Mackey just knocks on there. Knock on from Mackey. That was dangerous. Pass from Conway to supporting player Mason, and he knocked it on there, but could have been very dangerous if he took that on the full, David.
Yes, I thought Mark would have just stuck hold there. It was very difficult, but it looks like Mackey's took a knock to the head. It looks as if he's in quite some pain as well. He's kicking his legs out in agony. But Mark Conway made the break. A fine ball from John Glancy inside to Mark Conway in support, and Mark Conway under a little bit of pressure tried to get the ball away to Andy Mason, and as you say, Ian, it could have been very dangerous had Mackey have took that ball on the full, because Wakefield were all in full flight in attack, and with Gary Spencer being in the attacking player that he is, he would have probably been out of position, and that could have been it could have been dangerous for Wakefield. However, Mackey knocked on, and I believe that from the resumption of play it will be a Wakefield put in at this school.
Yeah, so Wakefield heading ball. Mackie there looked to be in great pain. He don't look much wrong with him now. Honton offside, the ball not out of the scrum. Jim Smith right, whole crowd not liking it, but right on the spot, Jim Smith. Few boos and that from the crowd, but absolutely right, Honton round there. Ball wasn't even out of the scrum. So it's Wakefield then. Short of that 22, Johnny Thompson taking it in. That's the first child. Nigel Bell, we're going to switch it blind to Glancy. Here we are. Glancy. McNamara making the tackle there, so it's Nigel Bell. Acting half-back. Gives it to Conway, to Byrne. Run round from Byrne now. Byrne just dummies, goes at him. The defence himself. He's well taken though. So it's Bell round. Conway. Bell still going. Goes to within 10 yards. Whole player just got a little bit of a knock there. That's a bad pass from Mark Conway there, but Jed Byrne picks it up, gives it inside to John Glancy. So Wakefield lost a little bit of yardage there. Jim Smith with his hand in the air, looks like he went on the last. So Conway kicks one high one, that's a good kick is that. Looks like everybody's on side with that. Difficult ball to pick up. Chris Purdy tried to pick the ball up and throw out to David Jones, but the ball went to the whole man, and here comes Feather. Feather trying to get out of the danger area. Mason just coming back across field into position. Here comes John Sharp. That's good tackling though from Wakefield. Glancy and Johnny Thompson there. Still coming, here comes Harrison. But he's well taken there by Linton Morris and Nigel Bell. Here comes McNamara, the sub forward. He's taken by Glancy and Price. So we're on the last, and here comes Honton. Honton with a kick downfield. Gary Spencer's going to feel that, yes he does. Comes out of his 22, running infield again, where McNamara takes the tackle. Jackson just drops on him just to make sure he's tackled. Andy Wilson giving his forwards a bit of a breather, just taking it infield. So Slater acting halfback. Slater having a little go on his own, is Slater. Bell to Conway, to Gary Price. Gary Price looking to get through this defence, who's met strongly by Sharp. Knocked back. Jackson in there as well. So it's Conway kicking on the foot. Shouting for their man is Conway, saying it touched their man. Linesman's having nothing of it. He's giving Hull head and ball. That's 10 yards from the Hull 22. And Wakefield making a substitution. Chris Purdy is going off, and Phil Eden, number 15, Phil Eden, who's been out of the first team for a fair time, and he's coming on in place of Chris Purdy, who's had some excellent form of late, David.
Yeah, it's unfortunate for Chris to come off in a game that's really fast and furious in conditions what you could say are now, from at the beginning of the game, were very, very good to being very, very poor. Tremendous rain, poor at half-time, made the ball slippy. But yeah, Phil will come in, and I'm sure we've lost Chris, who's a man in form, but Phil will be hopefully trying to impress David Topless after having a lengthy spell out of the game. So let's just hope that he can maintain the form that he has been playing in the last two games of the Alliance League.
So Jackson from acting half-back makes a good strong run. That's a good 20-yard run, and Linton Morris pulls him to the deck. And Nolan that from acting half-back. So we're on the last. On the last. Will they put it up? Anton to Mackie. Mackie probably put a little chip over, yes. But Bell there, reading it very well, just takes the ball and slides down. David Jones, just tackled by Anton, slid into where McNamara were. Here comes Gary Price. Gary Price trying to get out of that 22. Fitness of the players will be telling in a short period of time, as David says. Strong, fast, hectic game. This clinging mud. Conditions a little bit greasy underfoot. Wide from Jed Byrne, and that's a good kick. That's going into touch, just short of the halfway. Just releases the pressure for Wakefield a little bit. Mason shouting to his men, trying to wind them up, trying to get them going. Crowd shouting, come on Hull. So Anton feeds, Anton to Mackie. Mackie looking, gives a wide ball to Feather, but he's met well by Gary Spencer, holds on to him, and here comes Webb, and he's well taken by substitute Eden there. His first touch of the wet turf from Eden. That's a good strong tackle from Nigel Bell there on Busby. So Anton to Mackie. Mackie coming back in field. He's well taken by Linton Morris. Linton Morris there with John Glancy, just giving him a little tap. Sharp to McNamara. He's trying to get to the 22, but Conway and Gary Price shoving him back. Gary Price just... Here comes Jackson, kicks through. Spencer down on it low. Lee Jackson followed through there. Did Lee Jackson. So speaking to the ref, I think Lee Jackson's been lucky a few times this afternoon, David, dropping on men after the tackle's been made.
Well, that's exactly right, and I know all about that type of thing. Early on in my career, I took an high ball, went onto the deck, and a player came into my back and broke my transverse process, which is very, very painful, and it keeps you out of the game for some 8 to 10 weeks, and that is dangerous play. The man was on the floor. He only had to be touched by the opponent's hands to be grounded and deemed a tackle, but that was dangerous play from Jackson, and rightly so. Jim Smith penalised him.
So it's Bell then with the tap just outside the 22 of Wakefield's, trying to get upfield. First tackle, and Glancy's lost the ball. Johnny Thompson comes sliding in. Crowd probably appeal. Oh, it's Nigel Bell, probably crowd appealing, thinking that was the same, but he's lost the ball. Hull's lost the ball, so that's one each there. Wakefield had it, lost it, then Hull got it, and they lost it. Here comes David Jones. So these greasy, slippy conditions, the ball must be like a little bit of bar of soap at present. Phil Eden with his first touch, running strong and hard is Phil. Getting in, doing a little bit of work, fighting to get up. Phil loses a ball in the tackle, fighting to get up there. Phil lost the ball. So that's going to be scrum, 10 yards inside the Wakefield half with head and ball. I think he lost that. We're just trying to struggle too much, Dave.
Yes, I think there's, I was just going to say that there'd be a fast and furious 5 minutes after some of the incidents that took place, and it just went to show there that Phil tried to come on the charge and tried to get up quickly, and in an effort on a slippy day, the ball just fell out of his hands and gave the resulting scrum to Hull.
Linking in the line from Anton. Eden and Jed Byrne making the tackle. That's Slater there with the tackle. Here comes Jackson, gives it short to McNamara. Slater there again with the tackle, out by John Glancy. So Jackson again gives it to Sharp, inside to Harrison. They work this move very well. Done it a lot of times this afternoon. Dangerous early doors, but Wakefield really caught onto it, I think now. Mackie trying to get the ball away. That's a knock on, yes, the referee's right. I think half of the old spectators don't know the rules. He lost the ball in Mackie, with no advantage to Wakefield, so it's got to be a knock on. It's got to be Wakefield head and ball. And Hull going to make a substitution, with McGarry going to come off, and Dixon, a live wire hooker, David. I wonder where he's going to play, because we've seen him in the Alliance side and he's had a storming game against us.
Well, I would presume that the pack will, I think Sharp will probably come out of the pack, and Dixon will go into hooker. Jackson will probably move out of the hooking position. But Dixon will make a tremendous difference to the bite in this whole pack. He's, as you say, a live wire. He's full of commitment. He's on the verge of hosting Jackson out of the first team, but obviously Jackson's got international experience, and had it have not been for that, I think Dixon would be first choice hooker.
Yeah, okay, David. So now we're back with Wakefield with the ball in the 22. Just getting over it is Andy Mason. Linton Morris there, acting half-back, having a little go as Linney on his own. Just make some yardage. That's all he wants to do, just hold on to the ball. Conway looking for the openings. Hull defence. Here comes Johnny Thompson, gives it to Gary Price. Just had to stop a little bit, did Gary there. Just didn't take the advantage line just quite right, but still made a good yardage. Conway then, Conway with a kick. Kicks downfield, where knock on there from Eastwood. Straight at his feet there. That's a mistake from Paul Eastwood. That wasn't Great Britain form from the lad. But as we say, the ball's wet and greasy. Not only him that's made mistakes this afternoon in this second half, but one or two more have. So it's going to be Wakefield heading ball with 10 yards inside the whole half. 10 yards in from the play. Conway having a little go on his own. Slater goes in at acting half back. Jackson just pulls him down as he's going to get up. That was a penalty, but referees let it go. Linton Morris just taking it through. A good game, hasn't it? Nigel Bell. Wider to Gary Spencer, linking up. Gary Spencer, strong lad. Met some good breaks this afternoon as Gary Spencer. That was another one halfway through. So Slater, White to Jed Byrne. Jed Byrne really going strong at the full defence, but sticking well with Anton. Comes Slater. Slater is going to have a little go on his own. Is Slater? Yeah. Just makes the yardage. So we're just inside the whole 22. What's Wakefield going to do? It's back to Conway. He's going to have a drop at goal, which is a poor attempt under these conditions. It'd probably been better maybe with a little chip cut through, David, or something like that.
Yes, it probably would have been better with an up and under in the slippy conditions, because Hull have been under pressure 2 or 3 times from the high ball, and in conditions like this it's ideal if you've got a good chasing trio or maybe foursome and putting pressure on the fullback.
Yeah, which is young Feather making his debut, so it would be a little bit for the lad to take under pressure. He's been 1 or 2, as you said, he's struggled with, hasn't he?
He has, yes, and as I say, in conditions like this, it makes it even worse for a young lad to try and catch the ball when there's 3 or 4 men breathing down your throat on your own line.
So Hull then, with the players bringing it up, Sharp comes on a good strong run. We're on the last, and they've made a good 40-50 yard there with the tackles. White to Mackey. Mackey lifts it high to Spencer. Spencer just going back, takes a lovely ball. That's how a full back should take a ball under these conditions. Absolutely superb. Footwork right, getting there to the ball. Took a good take just behind him. Excellent full back play. So it's Wakefield then trying to bring it away with Glancy. Glancy getting near to the 22. Been going now good 15 minutes of this second half. Still no score. This second half, it's still 8-6 to Wakefield. Still those 2 points in it. Game can go either way. It's to use one of David's phrases, it's tightly poised. So we're on the last then. It's going to be to Conway. Conway, a good strong kick this time. It's gone behind Feather and Eastwood, and it's rolling towards the Hull try line. Picks up does Feather. Jed Byrne strongly. He's lost the ball and he's picked up by Richard Slater. Richard Slater is in under the sticks. It's Richard Slater. That's an awful mistake from young Feather, the fullback. Just fielded the ball, took it up. Slater quick onto it. Picks the ball up and he's like a flash, quick as a flash. He's under the sticks. Arms cheering. Wakefield contingent at the back of the sticks going wild, David.
Well, this game is very reminiscent of the game at Bellevue, where Hull made numerous mistakes and Wakefield Trinity capitalised on those mistakes and turned Hull's mistakes into points, and that's exactly what they're doing today. And the debutant Feather, unfortunately then trying to run the ball out with nobody close to him, lost the ball, and Jed Byrne just stuck an arm out. It wasn't a very nasty tackle or anything like that. Feather lost the ball, and from the resulting lows of the ball, Slater picked it up and charged round under the post, and that puts Wakefield Trinity now in a very, very strong position with only 13 minutes left.
Kick from Conway successful, so that makes the score Hull 6, Wakefield 14. So a little bit of a cushion there. They've got to score 3 times now of Hull, so that gives Wakefield a bit of a cushion. But where the defence has played, David, they're looking very confident apart from that early lapse.
That's right. They weathered the storm early on. They've come good. They've weathered the storm in the early parts of the second half. and they're playing exceptionally well, and all credit to the young back three of Slater, Morris and Price, who are doing an absolutely tremendous job in defence for Wakefield Trinity today.
So David Jones then running the ball out. I just hope we haven't put the mockers on them by saying that we haven't let them in with the defence. I hope they keep it as strong. So here comes Bell. Rain seems to have stopped now, but pitch still a bit greasy and muddy. Here comes Linton Morris. Linton has just lost it, it's gone back, has it? Yeah, and Wakefield still got the ball, yeah. Wakefield retrieved it. Johnny Thompson there looking at the right ref as he got up. Here comes John Glancy. Had a fine game as John Glancy. In great form at present is John Glancy. Conway kicking for position, that's changed his direction. That's going to go into touch, is it? Yeah, that goes into touch on the 22. That saves your forwards and your players a lot of work, doesn't it, David?
Well, that's an incentive to any forward to go an extra 50 yards up the length of the park without having to carry the ball and brush off tackles. Just as the ball was travelling into touch there, I saw that Jackson was limping quite badly. It may be that Hull decide to make another substitution.
So it's Hull bringing the ball away from the scrum. Wakefield playing this game in the right half of the field at present. They've got to keep them here and hope that they put pressure on them. But they've worked the tackles well, have Hull. Trinity defence holding out very well. Young Linton Morris here had a fine game as young Linton. Making some good tackles, he's in there again. Out with Johnny Thompson. Really grinding the work from Linton. But he's not one of those players you'd think look a flashy player, but the graft and the work he does is exceptional for a lad of 18. Jed lost the ball there, did Hull. He's complaining that he had it pulled out of him, but where the ball's been flying about, everybody's been losing balls. I don't think he's going to give him the benefit of the doubt there. So Wakefield penalised at the scrum. Johnny Thompson complaining to Jim Smith there, but saying they didn't pack right, didn't get the head in, so giving Eastwood the chance to put Wakefield under pressure with a kick for touch. Just more or less on the halfway line. Won't reach the 22 though. Not 10 yards short. Mackey's going to take the tap. Is he going to give it to Eastwood? Eastwood met strongly by Glancy and Thompson. Mackey again. Bring it again to Busby inside. So they might work the same move that got the first try again. Well, Mackey, here they come. Looking with the ball, gives it wide to Sharp, then it's it wide to Noland. So here comes Sharp, inside to Walker. So they're 15 yards from the Wakefield line. Dixon to Harrison. Harrison looking for runners, nobody there. Then he throws the ball away in the tackle. That's got to be a penalty. Laid on the floor. That's a definite penalty there, David. No.
Definitely a penalty, no worries about that, but that is a sheer sign of frustration on behalf of the Hull contingent. You know, the good sides, especially Hull, top of the table, should never ever panic in situations like that, but that was a terrible mistake from an international player.
Yeah, so another good run there from Gary Spencer. He's made some telling runs this afternoon, had an excellent game as Gary. In fact, at this present time, you know, with just the last 10 minutes of the game to go, all the Trinity team have played exceptionally well. I don't think there's been a weak link in it at all this afternoon. Jed Byrne just done the right things at times as Jed. Probably hasn't been as prominent as you might think, but he's made some lovely little passes and things like that. Andy Mason urging his men forward, shouting with Mark Conway. Mark Conway takes feather there. Good Wakefield chase there. Looking very keen and wanting to get up into this half of the field. That's Noland and Wakefield. And here comes McNamara, but he's taken by Gary Price and Jed Byrne. Dixon, first man, moves it to Mackey, gives it to Harrison. Harrison, well taken in midfield though by Bell and Linton Morris. Here comes on top, inside again to Busby. That's some good, strong runs, but look who's there again. Linton Morris, Slater and Bell, the three lads, you know, they've had some lion's share of the tackling to do, and they've done it. That's a good kick from Mackey. It's found touch, just inside the Wakefield 22. So it's going to be a scrum with Wakefield heading ball. We've probably about 5 minutes to go, David, so excellent performance so far from Wakefield.
Well, you know, I never like to preempt things, but with 8 points in front and five minutes to go, it looks like that Wakefield Trinity will probably be one of the only sides to do the double over Hull this season, and ending Hull's run of consecutive games without defeat at home. And you know, it's a tremendous and very gutsy performance from all the Wakefield Trinity lads today, and notably Linton Morris has had a tremendous game, both in attack and more than anything in defence.
Yeah, we are a little bit biased, but as David says, I think when I look at the back row of Price, Slater and Linton Morris, I mean, that must fill your heart with glee, knowing that the lads 18, 19 and 20, what a future there is for Wakefield Trinity. An excellent back three like that. It's something that you know you've got to work a long time for. That's Nigel Bell, and Nigel Bell still looking strong. Passes, and Andy Wilson just played it with his foot. Jim Smith right on the spot there. Dave Jones just played it with his foot, didn't try and pick it up. Jed Byrne to Conway. Conway looking for where to go. Back to Johnny Thompson. A little bit of panic setting the Wakefield defence there. All we wanted were Conway to kick downfield and into the 22 again. That's where they've done it, and both physios are on. There's Nigel Bell just receiving treatment on the halfway, and Hull player down just on the 22.
Number 31.
Yeah. Substitution, old man put 31 up. So Busby looks like he's going off. And McGarry, the centre, comes back on. Looks like Sharp's going back into the scrum. Nigel Bell seems to be okay, is he, Nigel? No, it don't look like he's just right. He's staggering about, is Nigel. Jed Byrne there, bit high tackle there from Jed. Slept inside, it's greasy conditions, but definitely high there with Jed Byrne. Very lucky with Jed. Looks like Lazenby's going to be on for Nigel Bell, because Nigel Bell looked to have a real crack, and he seemed to be staggering about there, David.
Yeah, as soon as he got up, I saw that he was finding it very, very difficult to stay on his feet, and when a lad gets a knock to the head, especially with some of the footballers of late swallowing tongues and things like that, it's a very, very dangerous thing, and attention should be brought to him immediately, so that you know, there's no danger to the player. But yes, Lazenby's come on now, and Bell's gone off, and I must say that Nigel's had a tremendous game as well today.
Yeah, he has, excellent game. So it's all then with Dixon just taking it in, moving it wide. Mackey gives it to Walker. Wakefield tackling still a sound. Here comes Jackson. Inside to Sharp. Sharp pitching up that play of the ball, which they love that play, does all. Jackson moves it to Mackey. Mackey, what's he going to do? Moves it wide to Feather. Just juggles with it a little bit, but takes it okay. There's McNamara. There's Mackey. Mackey gives it to Walker, coming short, but Linton Morris there again round the ankles. So we're on the last tackle. There's on top, moving it back towards the blind. There's McNamara, short to Sharp, but that's good Wakefield tackling again. Defence absolutely been superb this afternoon. Johnny Thompson getting up there. Excellent game as Johnny today. So it's David Jones bringing the ball in field, just trying to clear this line. 22 area. It's Gary Price. Moves it wide. Jed Byrne gives it wide to Gary Spencer. Gary Spencer under his own post, 10 yards from the line. We're nearly on time, and here comes Lazenby. Lazenby just checking it out. Going to get his shirt dirty. Frank, the kit man won't like that. It's one more to wash. They probably thought they got the 14 shirt clean all afternoon. So we're on the last. Wakefield just played the 6 tackles out, which is all they want to do. So it's Lazenby. Lazenby with a good long left-footed kick, which Feather's going to pick up. 10 yards inside his own half. A good change good charge there from Wakefield, where Conway makes the tackle on halfway. Also Tex Webb as well, but helped by Linton Morris. Linton Morris there, making sure they don't go any further, is Linney. And then across is young Slater. And Conway on action to Sharp. And there they are again as the tacklers of Johnny Thompson and Gary Price. On Tom. Mackey loses the ball. And he loses the ball, and that looks like a Wakefield possession there. So I think if they just work the 6 out again, David, it could be near time.
Well, they'll just play percentage stuff now, and hopefully, they'll play virtually towards the end of the game with the possession. I would imagine that on the 6th tackle, they'll just kick the ball deep inside the Hull 25. Both the Hull side look defeated now, and the crowd as well, as they start to filter away from the boulevard. And it's an excellent performance, and the double over Hull.
Yeah, I must agree with you, David. It's been an excellent performance. Been proud of the lads. They've done magnificent today. Jed Byrne. Wakefield with Conway to Lazenby. Moves it wide to Linton Morris. Linton Morris on the charge. Loses the ball. There's Linton in the tackle there. That's a bit of a bad mistake. It's Lazenby getting into the tackle on Tom there. Here comes Walker. Walker, but met by strong Wakefield tackling. Shoving him back, making sure he goes down on the deck is Johnny Thompson. Comes Dixon to Mackey, gives it short to Harrison, who then slips it back to McNamara. And going nowhere, aren't told. Here comes Dixon, young Dixon, a powerhouse lad, but not making much there. Met by young Richard Slater, who is a powerhouse for his size. Moving it wide. Mackey with a little chip over. Jackson picks the ball up. That's Gary Spencer touched that, so we're back to 6. On Ton again. Linton Morris knocks on there. Good tackle from Linton Morris. On Ton complaining. And I don't know if they can speak English or not, but whatever the French equivalent was, I think they were telling Jim Smith. So probably playing injury time now. Conway puts the ball in, gets it, moves it to Jed Byrne. Gusto. So it's Wakefield with the ball. Lazenby going to play it midfield. Gives it to Conway, gives it to Johnny Thompson. We're just playing as 6 tackles out. Excellent performance. Just that one slip early doors. Hadn't had a sniff then until really. That's another good strong run from John Glancy. What a bit of form he's hit of late. So Conway gives it wide to Lazenby. Lazenby going to be a left-footed kick towards this corner. A good chase on with Eastwood and Feather. Eastwood's going to get there. Looking to come out of his 22, but he's met by at least 4 chasers there from Wakefield. So Wakefield look like they're going to inflict the first defeat on the Hull side at home for at least 14 or 15 months. That's Sharp putting a little cut through. David Jones is down on it. Slides a good 10 yards, but at least he's in possession. Just trying anything now, Hull really, to split this Wakefield defence. Haven't got anywhere at all with it. It's Gary Spencer taking it in. Slater clapping his hands behind, wants the ball a little bit quicker. Wants to get his forwards going a little bit. Slater again in an acting halfback. Not rushing at all, no need to. Well in front, 14-6. Long wide ball to Lazenby. Mason comes and links up in attack. But Eastwood makes the tackle. Andy Wilson, just taking it in. Frustration now on the whole side. Pitch stood up remarkably well after the downpour, so Mason back to Tracy Lazenby. Lazenby, big up and under. That's in midfield, there's Feather there. Oh, excellent take from young Feather there. Under pressure, but the lads took it well. Excellent catch from the full-back. Here comes Walker. Walker on the charge, but Linton Morris round his ankles. Slater there helping him. Moving it wide again, Hull, are they? No, just taking the game up. And there goes the Hull turn, and that is what you'd call a magnificent win. Wakefield players jubilant, throwing their arms in the air. That's 14-6 to Wakefield at the Boulevard, beating Hull on their home ground for the first time in 14 months and doing a double over them. David?
Well, what can you say? I mean, I think that's just ensured safety into the First Division. The Wakefield Trinity crowd are going off to a rapturous round of applause from the Wakefield Trinity following, and they deservedly need those applause, because there's been a few knockers of late, but Wakefield Trinity have done it. I think they've ensured safety. What a tremendous performance. The only side, and I've said it before, probably to do the double overhaul this season. Marvellous performance, and let's just hope that we can string one or two other results like that together and try and climb into this top 8 and have a good tilt at the Premiership.
Thank you, David, and we're at home to Bradford next week, so hope to see you there.